Good morning, my beautiful imperfectionist family. What's good? It's yours truly, Tammy B, coming to you with another session of planting and or watering, where I am either planting something new in your life or I am watering, aka adding value to something you have already heard. And it has been a couple of weeks since I checked in with you, beautiful people. So therefore, I want to ask the question, how are you? How are you doing? Are you tending to your mental health? Are you taking care of you in the midst of the world of distractions? How are you holding up? Are you taking that time that you need to spend by yourself and reconnecting and recharging? Are you getting out in nature and enjoying the beauty of the sounds of the birds singing and even just the traffic or the trees whistling in the breeze? Are you doing that? Because right now, I know there is so much going on right now that is something hard to do. But let me tell you something. The more you try to not do those things because you don't feel you're capable of because of what's going on, the more you are doing yourself a disservice. And I am here to deliver a message to you today. Don't do it. Don't do it. Do not give in to the distractions that are constantly trying to keep you, okay, what did happen today? Oh my God, what happened? Oh my God. No, 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 no. You need to give into the connection that you have to the power that is within you. Because guess what? What you don't realize when you focus on all those distractions and make you the less important part of your daily routine, you're giving your power away. If you're not taking that time to recharge, to reconnect, to line up with your inner being, the spirit that's within you, the time to tend to your well-being, your mental health, you're doing yourself a big disservice. And let me tell you, those powers that be, that's what I like to call them, those distractions, they know what they're doing. I have completed, I think I talked about this the last time. I was listening to a book called Science of Mind. I have completed listening to Science of Mind. And I am here to say to you, if you are a breathing soul, you want to either listen to that book or read that book. That book takes you so deep. You know, I am always talking about The Secret. Well, the Science of Mind is The Secret on steroids, and it's constantly going back, connecting to the Bible, giving you scriptures to make the connection. Because at the end of the day, when you suffer from what one like to call lack of knowledge, you perish. And so therefore, my encouragement to you is to take off the programming, that's the word I'm going to use, the programming that has been instilled in you, and open your mind and hear something other than what you've been taught. Because I ministered this morning on a prayer call and Spirit gave to me those prayers that the way we prayed back in the 70s, even the 80s and 90s, those prayers are not going to work in 2025. Not that they're not going to work. Let me rephrase that. You got to be mindful and you have to come up to date, because the enemy is becoming more and more cunning, more and more conniving, and can smile in your face. And so when you even listen to Science of Mind, you got to think. I say it all the time. There are universal laws that are at play here, and they know those laws and they are using it. They are manipulating the people, and they know as long as you give them attention, you're giving away the power that's in you that you're supposed to be using for your good, uplifting you, uplifting your family, uplifting your community, and all the good that's in you, you're dimming it, because it's a light that you're dimming, because you're giving it away. You're giving it away. And I know that's not an intentional give, right? But sometimes we do things intentionally and unintentionally. Know this: the laws of the universe are here. they're in effect, whether you acknowledge or know of them or not. They're always at play in our lives, and they can be used for good and bad. Because even if you go back to my last session, I mentioned Jesus knew the universal laws and was using them to help perform those miracle signs and wonders, which that is a reason to get excited right there, because you can use them as well to perform miracle signs and wonders in your life. And you got to think, they that are operating the way that they are, it's like, I can't remember if I said it here, but it's almost like I found myself saying, and it's more so because I have become real silly. I'm going to be silly. I'm going to laugh. I'm going to be Gilligan on my island. I am going to not give them the energy that they want. And I'm going to laugh at their stupidity, but I'm going to have empathy for those who are not on the level of laughter that I'm at in the midst of this. So I am that old show Gilligan's Island, but I'm there by myself until others want to come join me, which is what I am encouraging. Get off of their agenda and get on your own agenda, even if you have to go to an island by yourself. Because think about it. It's almost like the last 4 years that this one was not in office. It's almost like you want to go back in time and give him those 4 years. So maybe he won't be as outlandish as he has been. It's almost like he go to sleep every day and wake up. What can I do next? What can I mess up? How can I blow this up? You know, all this is taking place. And I used that. And then as I said that, I thought about Harriet Tubman. Harriet was hit upside the head with something as she was defending another slave, and she started having blackouts. And when she would have those random blackouts, she would go to sleep, and that's when she would hear from God. And there would be times they would be heading in one direction. She'll wake up from that blackout. Nope, we going this direction, because that's when she would hear from God. And it's almost like, does this man go to sleep? What can I come up next? Or like I said, because we didn't give him those last 4 years, boom, atomic bomb has been set. But whatever is going on, know that you're going to be okay. But you got to turn this off. Turn the TV off. Turn the distractions off. Operate in you, your power, your knowledge, your awareness, your being the best version of you. In fact, I like one of Cardi lines in one of her songs, become betterer and betterer and betterer, because that's what you got to do. As long as you are operating in this energy, this distraction, you live beneath who you are. And, you know, I was in a conversation with someone yesterday and kind of telling them this power that people, I pull we out of it because we ain't doing it, but the power that people are giving them, if they pull it away, they'll go to sleep. And let me tell you what I mean by that. Like I reference, I don't know if you guys are Marvel fans, but know this, I am a huge Marvel's junkie. And I was recalling one scene from the Avengers, whereas my favorite narcissist in the world, that's the only narcissist I really love, and that's Tony Stark, aka Iron Man. He was talking about Loki. And he said, you know, Loki wants to do a grand appearance. Whatever he's planning, it's big, because he's a full-fledged diva. He loves attention. And when you think about it, ain't that's kind of what's going on right now? We got a full-fledged diva. One that even when he was in the polling, he was like, well, my audience participation was bigger than Kamala's and bigger than this and bigger than that. So he spends a lot of time for show. For show. And that's why I say all the time, the broken little boy needs to be healed. The broken little boy needs to be fixed. But that's not what I'm here about today. I'm here for you, because I want you to stop giving him what he's asking for. Stop elevating the diva. As a matter of fact, in the Bible, or throughout I know my spiritual journey, I've always heard, magnify God and not your problem. Feed your faith and not your doubt. And a lot of times people are so caught up on magnifying the problem and magnifying everything that he's putting out. And it's not to diminish what he's doing and how he's disrupting lives. Not saying that. What I am saying is we got to take the power away from him. That power that we're giving him by staying upset with him, pissed off with him, frustrated and bitter and broken and angry, we got to pull it back. Pull it back. Pull it back into your life. Go into your happy space. Go into your living your best life and praying for others and encouraging in one another's, being the Harriet, trying to save and set the captives free. Do what Jesus did when he went in the grave and he set the captives free. You got to be able and willing to do those things because the world needs you. It needs you. And in order for it to have you, it has to start with you being intentional about where you put your energy and your power. So therefore, you're going to have to shut the news off. You're going to have to, when those ads come up, when you get on social media or on your computer, you're going to have to ignore them. Hit the X button, send them on their merry way. Because as long as you're giving them attention, you're feeding them. And again, not diminishing the effects. Like people are losing their jobs in the government. And you know, when people signed on with the government, they was like, hey, this is the road to retirement. And even that is being affected. So therefore, I'm encouraging everyone continuously to pray for each other. Let's continually be in prayer. Prayer is the most important thing because you're staying in communication with God and the higher power. You're saying, God, I trust you. I don't know what's going on, nor do I understand it. But remember this, he said he'll give you peace that surpasses all understanding. And if you're going to have peace in your life, if your mental health is going to stay intact, you got to lean not to your own understanding. You got to do what so many people refuse to do, and I can't even say it enough. You got to let go of control. You got to let go of control. Because as long as you are holding on, just think, you can be holding on to something that you cannot change. Remember, God told Jehoshaphat, you don't have to fight in this battle. Stand still and see my salvation. You got to know that God is going to work and shift things around. He doesn't need your help. He needs your faith. Faith is seeing beyond the now. We can't get to where we're going if we're steady focused on the not yet, because if we're steady focused on the right now, because guess what? You're not even putting your faith to work. Think of that just fell into my spirit. You're not putting your faith to work because you're so focused on right now that your faith is out here lingering in la la land. Think about that. I want you to catch that. That was powerful. And that's the first time I even thought or even said it that way. You got to put your faith into action by looking beyond what's in front of you. And I know it's hard. I will not sit here and act like it's easy. It's not. But it's necessary. It is so necessary in order to get to that next level, to get beyond this. You got to get your faith in action. You got to get your power back and use it. You got a whole life to shape. You have a whole reality. And I don't care if you're 30, 40, 50, 60, 70, 80, 90, 100 years old. It don't matter. Those universal laws that I talk about, they can come into effect anytime you put your attention towards them. So I promise you, don't think you're too old, you reached the end, you can't go no further. No, ma'am, no, sir. That's not what you're going to do. You're going to continue to press forward. As a matter of fact, I ministered at a church outside of Charlotte about a week and a half, 2 weeks ago. And one of the biggest things that I encouraged them on, quitting is not an option. And so my encouragement for you today, quitting is not an option. You got to think. Queen Esther, she had a decree that her family, her lineage could be killed. And she knew if she went before the king without being summoned, she could be killed. But she knew it was not an option for her not to go before him because she had to save her people. So guess what? I am being a Queen Esther in this time. I am the one that's with her. Like, if we perish, but we're going to see the king. We're going to get our victory. We're going to live a life that's wholesome, a life that's uplifting, a life that's full of love and positivity and joy and happiness. No matter what's going on around us, you can do it. And it's not selfish to do so. I know many times people think it's selfish for me to want to be happy and to have a nice big house and drive a nice fancy car. It's not selfish. It's your birthright. Abundance, prosperity, love, joy, happiness is your birthright. That's why God told you, even in John 3:16, he so loved the world that he gave his son. He also told us in John 10:10 that even when that thief, that thief, is trying to steal all your joy and peace, he came that we would have life abundantly. It's your birthright. Tap into your birthright. Live on victory. Live on purpose. Live on passion. Live a life that's fulfilling to you and those around you. Don't give in to this. Do not. Do not. Again, what I say, you got to get better and better and better and better and better. Yes, you got to do it. You got to do it. The future is depending on you to do it. And when I say the future, I'm talking your future. Your future. And then you tap into others because we're iron sharpening iron, helping each other along the journey. So tap in, stop giving your power away, challenge yourself. Okay, I'm going to go today without the news or the media and all that negativity, and then do it tomorrow. And then, and eventually add on till you get to a point you'll be like, I am not being fed by this foolishness. And anything that's not uplifting you and feeding you is taken away from who you are. So catch all of that because you need it in a time like this. And so therefore, I just got to bring it in. Thank you, thank you, thank you for listening. Thank you for tuning in, tapping in. I thank you for the connection, and I hope that I have said something that has added value to your day/life. And if I have, please feel free to drop me a comment as well as give me a thumbs up. And if you know someone who can benefit from this message, please share it with them. Iron sharpening iron. And guess what? Say it all the time. We are our brothers and our sisters' keeper. So, and I also, if you're not part of my imperfectionist family, which we are imperfectly perfect people on this journey of life, I invite you to click on the subscribe button so you know when I come back with new content. As well as if you have not been catching Real Talk with Tammy B, you know I haven't been on planting every week. However, you get me on Real Talk every week. If you have not been tuning in, I invite you. The conversations have been awesome, like simply awesome. And on Wednesday, April 2nd at 7:30 p.m. Eastern Time, I have the queens of what I like to call Wisdom Wednesday sharing with us, and we will be talking about the law of attraction in action. So there's action that we can use to help manifest things in our life. And a lot of it starts right here with our mental health. So tune into that when you get a chance. If you missed the live, I encourage you to catch the live because you always can go into the chat on YouTube and add comments or ask questions. The recording will be put up as well, which is why I invite you to subscribe to the channel. So listen, I have taken enough of your time, but I just do want to encourage you to please, please, please remember Loki wants attention. That's going to be my new name. Loki wants attention. And if we keep giving the full-fledged diva his attention, he's going to continue doing what he do, and that's cause chaos. And you are more valuable than any chaos that he can do or any confusion. Because what did the scripture say? God is not the author of confusion. Okay? Continue to be blessed. Continue to be powerful and empowered, and have an amazing day.